Hammer, this one is going to be an absolute corker.
Well, anticipation is in the air, that's for sure.
Scantily clad ring girls, setting the atmosphere, Hammer.
It's all part of it. It's all part of the show. Mark Ella, eloquent in his announcement. Wazza. The big ovation will be for Preacher here. Have a listen to this, folks.
And representing the K6 gym in Brisbane.
His 100th fight.
69 and 28. Ladies and gentlemen, Bruce the Preacher Macfie.
Booyah. That's an ovation. Bruce Macfie about to get underway. 100 fights. A centenarian. Congratulations to the Preacher.
100 fights, and I
fights.
test my memory to think of another Australian ring athlete that has had 100 fights.
Oh, that's a good call, Hammer. I'm even struggling on that one.
How many fights did Fennick have?
Keith Belizzi will tell you he's had 100 fights, Hammer. But I don't think Fennick would have gotten in his pro career to 100 fights.
100 pro fights.
Oh, definitely Costa Zoo, if you add up pro and amateur, has had around 200 fights. But certainly not as a pro, nowhere near 100 fights. Here we go,
They go straight at it. And again, a big thank you to the major sponsor, Musashi and Brisbane 24/7 Network.
All tied up, they tango over in the red corner. It will be the speed and work rate of Bruce Macfie against the power and high knees.
The big right hand!
Elson's gone down!
The big right hand!
Elson's gone down! The big kibosh from Bruce Macfie! And this could be a victory in the making!
Can it be an early victory? Oh, he doesn't look well.
Elson, the high tower on Rubber Leg Street is not all there. Warren Elson's astral travelling. Here comes Preacher. Bruce Macfie has opened up like a house on fire. Warren Elson taking more hits than a pinata here in the first round.
Of course, there's elbows in the final. We're bringing the elbows into play now. Knee strikes and elbows, and Macfie aiming for the elbows as well. Warren Elson fighting straight back. Wazza.
Well, can Macfie finish him here in the first round? The move separates them.
I'll tell you what, Michael, a lesser fighter would be sucking canvas after that big right hand from Macfie. But the boy from the Sunshine Coast Thai boxing gym, Warren Elson, the former world champ, is showing why he was a former world champ.
That was a huge right hand from Bruce Macfie. I thought they might have to get the spatula out and scrape Warren Elson off the canvas. But the big high tower back to his feet.
Come on,
Bruce Macfie absolutely rampaging through this first round. He's got to keep the pressure on here, because Warren Elson's marbles got rattled earlier on, but he's slowly getting his composure back.
Come on,
Rattled.
break.
That was shaken, not stirred.
Oh, jab from Macfie. There's the speed of the hands.
And Macfie not getting caught in the grappling situation with Warren Elson. He knows that's not where he wants to be. And it's going to be the boxing range that's going to be in the advantage of Macfie if he can land another right hand.
Wazza ties him up, walks him back towards the ropes. No real definitive knees there from the high tower. Slips the way of the left hand. Macfie ties him up. Short range knees to either side of the ribs.
Break.
Low waist clinch there from the Preacher Bruce Macfie, negating the knee strikes of Warren Elson.
Outside thigh kick, just loses his footing.
The slip.
Says Preacher. Leads off with the right hand. Wazza ties him up. He's come back well after the knockdown earlier, Wazza.
He has indeed. Shook it off well. And he's back in there with a real fighting chance, Warren Elson, now after getting dropped well and truly in the first. Warren Elson is back. This is how it went down. The chopping leg kick, bang, straight right hand. Off the leg kick was perfectly executed by the Preacher Bruce Macfie, and that is testament to the power that Macfie possesses in that right hand. Just chambered, had it cocked and ready and let it go. And I tell you what, it takes a very strong fighter to drop Warren Elson, and Bruce Macfie has done it in the first round. That's a 10-8 round for him.
If you're going to throw something, make sure you're there to throw it. Don't be throwing it outside. Whether it's throwing hands up.
Instructions from Richie Foggs in the corner of the high tower. Warren Elson, they touch gloves. We are underway. Round number 2 of the final. And have a look at that snappy jab from the Preacher. I've given him the first round 10-8. Nice sweet takedown. Hammer, that was champagne.
Beautiful
Bruce
work
Macfie.
from Macfie, and that's why he has earned the right to fight John Wayne Palmer 19.
And you can bet that JW is keeping an eye on every technique, every foot movement of the Preacher in this fight.
Of course, the big difference there is John Wayne Palmer is nowhere near as tall or as rangy as Warren Elson, so that's going to be a very even affair, whatever the outcome of this bout. And have a listen to the crowd now rallying behind Warren Elson. Now, that's unexpected, but a big contingent coming down from the Sunshine Coast of Brisbane to back their boy, Warren Elson.
All tied up against the ropes. The Murph separates them. Sinking through the second round here. It's been everything we thought it would and a whole lot more. Elson with that great uppercut. He's used to so much effect throughout the night thus far off the rear hand. Outside thigh kick from Wazza. Straight right hand to the jaw. Preacher slowed down a little here. Wazza controlling centre ring. Oh, tries to pull the head down into the big bok choy off the rear knee. Jab from Preacher, outside thigh kick. Rib kick from Preacher off the lead leg. Uppercut from Wazza. As I said earlier, in the semi-final against Soren, Wazza's handiwork has really come along in leaps and bounds.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see. Warren Elson has fought 6 hard rounds coming into this one. Macfie, he's only fought 4, so he's 2 rounds fresher than Warren Elson. But then again, the Preacher, the man with the green hair, Bruce Macfie, has to negate a very, very rangy and strong fighter in Warren Elson. And after getting well and truly dropped in the first, he's come back and he's moving nicely as they exchange big right hands, 1 for 1.
Beautiful schnoggin knocker there off the right hand from Wazza. Ties up Macfie in centre ring. And Brucey's gone to sleep a little here in the second round. Warren Elson chasing him around the ring.
Trying for the step-up lead elbow.
Oh, crossing elbow, back of the head from Elson. First real connecting elbow of the fight, and the crowd rallied for it. After seeing Rungshai dispense the elbows against Darren Lee in the previous fight, they want a little more.
Razor sharp elbows. It only takes one good one to land over the brow, and that could end the fight. The forehead, too much blood, too big a cut. Doesn't necessarily have to knock you out, but if it cuts you up bad enough, that's where it all stops.
See that cut on Aaron Lee, you could swipe a credit card through it. Stinging right hand there from Bruce the Preacher. Circles off to his right, anti-clockwise, staying out of the range of the right hand of Warren Elson. Nice right hand up the centre from Macfie. End of the round, I'm going to give that one to Elson, 10-9.
10-9 Elson.
A good comeback after a knockdown in the first round.
Once again, you see Elson high-low, and that's what he's the master of. He attacks the legs and then he throws the hands over the top. So just when you're trying to counter and negate one technique, he'll throw something straight else. There's the crossing left elbow from Warren Elson. Have a look at him chasing. Have a look at the absolute tenacity on his face as he chases Macfie across the ring. Macfie again with that big right hand. That's his danger weapon for sure, the big right hand that Macfie possesses.
They hug each other, two great sportsmen. Third and final, the voice and the hammer. Hope you're enjoying it, folks, as much as we are. Unofficially, 19-18 in favour of the Preacher Bruce Macfie after 2 rounds. Outside thigh kick from Wazza, off the rear leg. Walks into a jab from Macfie.
Beautiful straight left hand from Macfie. Ducks under the right hand as well, Warren Elson.
Go, let go, let go.
Jab 2 from Macfie, ties him up. Nothing in the knees there. The busier of the two in the clinch is certainly Elson, but no real telling blows off those knees. Both men spilled to the canvas. Christian Tri-Ming giving the Preacher a few quick instructions while he was over. Slips the jab, does Elson. Locks the grapple around the upper rib cage. And even round so far. Nice smashing right hand to the jaw of the Preacher.
But Macfie also landed a nice step left there. They're trading some heavy punches.
Come on, boys, let's go. Up.
Two real champs in centre ring now, fighting for the big bucks, the big dollars.
30
in this
grand
the final.
on the
It's
line.
been a long, hard road, and you can see the toll it's taken. The preliminaries have really worn these fighters down. They exchange some big shots now, Michael.
Warren Elson wore more leather than the Blue Oyster Bar in that exchange. Good leg check from the Preacher. Wazza forces him back against the ropes, leaning down on Macfie. And have a look at Macfie, just putting the knee across the waist to negate the knee strikes of Warren Elson.
And he drives the knee into the upper abdominal area just to keep the hips back of Warren Elson so he can't let those knees swing out.
Good right hand from Macfie. Nicely done from the green-haired one. Elson just slipping that right. Final stages of the final round. Who is going to be 30 grand the richer? The Murph breaks them up. He's done a fantastic job all night, the Murph.
He pushes him on, he eggs him on, he tells him to keep busy. Ryan the Murph.
Long-reaching punches, crossing elbow from Macfie. Came agonisingly close. Straight right hand from Macfie. And Macfie may have his second wind, an overhand elbow. Snakes on the grapple, they tango in the blue corner.
Well, the Preacher's been cut, Michael. He's been cut over his right eye via the left round elbow of Warren Elson. Have a look at the blood now just dripping down off the right eye of Macfie. How much that's going to affect him, we'll only tell, but we're into the third and final. And if Warren Elson wins this, it's a draw, and therefore an extension round.
All locked up against the ropes again. Short-range knee from Bruce Macfie. And another from Macfie. End of the third and final. Hammer, we've got ourselves a predicament.
Well, as I said,
I'm giving the final round on my scorecard, that is, a 10-all, and that means I have it 1 point in favour to the Preacher Bruce Macfie, 29-28
well,
to the Preacher.
I'll go 10-8 Macfie the first,
3 minutes of your life.
10-9 Warren Elson the second, 10-9 Warren Elson the third. So therefore, on my scorecard, it's a draw, and we're going to head into an extension round as we see some solid leather traded in the third and final.
Okay. Yes, we are going an extension round. The Hammer called it. So this is the decider now.
Straight into the decider, the fourth, and indeed, if it's no decision after the fourth, we can go to a fifth.
And Bruce Macfie cut over the right eye. Who will bring it home? Who's going to dig deep? The guts and intestinal fortitude. It comes down to conditioning. It comes down to heart. And it comes down to hunger now in the fourth round.
And it comes down to who's got more bills and needs the money more.
Exactly. Who needs to pay them bills? Can't be cheap to dye your hair like that, Hammer. Bruce Macfie getting tagged. A solid right hand to the follow-up left.
Well, Macfie gets bundled straight into that Musashi corner.
Elson seems to be the Macfie needs to start working here. Needs to start landing some telling blows.
Well, this is what happens with Elson. He makes the weight, obviously, 24 hours before the fight, but 24 hours later, he can put on, 3, 4, even more kilos, or 4 kilos at least, by the time he steps in the centre ring, and that proves to be a real disadvantage for any opponent who steps in against him, especially when they're fighting at the 72 kilo weight range. And Wazza steps in around 75 after he's beefed up and had a good lasagna. And you'd know all about that, Michael.
Exactly the same tactic that Shane Chopper Chapman is renowned for at this weight. Chapman usually steps in at about 76 kilos, even in a 71 kilo fight. And you can bet that Wazza, as the Hammer said, is probably up around 74 kilos here tonight. 75 easy, I reckon. Whereas Bruce is right on the money on 71, and if Bruce, that.
The lean, mean fighting, and he's getting caught.
Straight right hand from Elson. Front kick from Wazza. Ties him up, working the knees in the red corner. And Warren Elson is certainly bringing this one home. Bruce the Preacher Macfie, you've got to do something, son. You've got to find your second win, Bruce. Spins off to his right, trying to stay out of range of the right hand of Elson.
Well, there's still nothing in it, though. Macfie just shrugs him off. showing a lot of heart, a lot of strength, but he's looking a little tired, however, the Preacher, dealing with a somewhat bigger opponent when you have a look at him.
Well, here's a class act, Bruce Macfie. Crossing elbow there from Warren Elson, 100 fights,
100
unbelievable.
Fights, the man with the green hair. As the Murph untangles him.
Murph said there's only 30 seconds left. Again, Preacher snakes in for the grapple. No knees coming behind it, though. Elson spins him around. Works it into the right rib cage. Trying to pull the head down, but he hasn't got the distancing.
Come on, boys, 10 to go.
Murph trying to spur on both men. They keep the action hard and fast. Straight right hand from Elson. Hammer. What a sensational main event. Warren Elson raised in the air, and I'm going to give that one a 10-9 to Elson, Hammer.
Well, the closest of margins. I tell you what an absolute war, what a battle. And take nothing away from the man with the green hair, the Preacher, Bruce Macfie. Just a little out-muscled, I'd say, by a much bigger and stronger opponent in Warren Elson Wazza from the Sunshine Coast Thai Boxing Gym. Just used the weight and the height advantage to its ultimate level tonight. Pushed it against every single opponent that squared up against him. The barest of margins, I'd say, going Elson's way.
We had to go into a final and fourth round.
John Coburn to present the winner's belt.
With 8 fighters, there can be only one. Ladies and gentlemen, based on the fourth round, a unanimous decision. To the blue corner.
He's done it. What a year for the Hightower. Warren Elson victorious here tonight in the Super 8. He takes the 3-foot trophy, gets the belt, and also the big check for $30,000 presented here by Stefan Fox. John Coburn of the WMC, a shattered Bruce Macfie. Let's have a listen.
I know I've got a lot of people that come down to the coast. Thanks to all of you guys for coming down. Support was wicked. Everyone from Brisbane. These are the best crowd to fight in front of it. I love you.
Ladies and gentlemen, our champion.
Thanks from myself, Michael Chavello, Mark the Hammer Castanini. We hope you've enjoyed it. We'll see you November 19 for the big one. Preacher versus JW in Brisbane at the Sleeman Centre on Evolution 6.